my new week journey. I'm going to try to keep it for 1 month, this preparation of fasting.
That's good. Thank you so very much. Right now, I think Dr. Neha has to leave, so she's not with us right now. And I'm gonna call out on our other guest. She was talking earlier. Her name is Array, and she was talking earlier. I think she has network problems, so I'm gonna bring her back on.
Bye, everybody.
Right now. So, are you there, Array? Barrister Harry. Let me see if she's still here.
Yes, yes, Buki.
All right, good.
Yeah. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Yes.
Okay. Hi, sorry about that. Good evening. As I was saying, I'm just going to start over my journey because I've been through the different phases of thyroid disease and associated diseases which are associated with thyroid patients. First, what each and every one of us should know is thyroid disease, each patient has its own symptoms. What I might be going through is not what Ms. Buki will be going through. So that's the first thing you have to put in your mind. And as we Africans are, when they hear you're suffering from something, they start telling you, oh, A was suffering from it, B was suffering from it. So as I'm about to start my story, you will discover it's quite a different story from what each and every thyroid patient has shared in here. Back to my story, my journey started in 2016. I kept collapsing every time at work. It happens like every 8 weeks or 9 weeks. Coupled with the fact that you work for a busy law firm, there's so much pressure. They're expecting a lot from you. 90% of your clients are international clients. They'll tell you, oh, we need to get this contract. You have 48 hours to get to us. That is how I wanted to look at my career, start my career, and that's the kind of future I had for myself. Fortunately, I'm from a family where we have like the best lawyers in Cameroon. So I wanted to have that career to be one of the best female lawyers coming from Cameroon, but I believe God has a plan for me. Rather than advocating for people who are sick, who don't have a voice in the society, or who have been stigmatized due to their health conditions. So in December 2016, I was at a party. All of a sudden, I had this heat intolerance. And I said to my friend, we need to go home. I'm not feeling too well. She said, we just got here. I said, no. It's like something is happening to me. We went home at 2 a.m. She noticed that I was no longer functioning. I couldn't say anything. And I told her, please call the doctor. I am not feeling too well. She said, but we just came back home and you cannot say. I said, no, just call the doctor. When I got to the hospital, my hemoglobin level was below 8. And when you have a hemoglobin level below 8, it means you're anemic, like it's severe. You hear of cases of people moving on the street and they say this guy just fell and never woke up, he's dead. That is a case of somebody who is suffering from severe anemia. The doctor said, oh, you have acute typhoid and malaria, that's why you're anemic. I told the doctor, I said, but I live a healthy life. I eat properly. I exercise. Why am I having this disease? He said, oh, maybe from your work. I said, but I can't be having typhoid. He said, no. I can see your immune system is not strong. I said, okay, there's no problem. I told him, I said, so how long do you think I can get stable? I need to go back to work. It's the beginning of the year. I have so much to do. He said, oh, maybe you stay home for a month. Why stay home for a month? I discovered that my legs were retaining water. That's my first symptom. From my legs, it went to my body. I used to be a size 12, US size 12. I left from US size 12 to US 18 in the space of 1 week. I discovered I could not lift up my hands. And I called my uncle and I said, I don't know what has happened to me. My whole body is tripled. And he said, are you sure it's not witchcraft? Because that's how Cameroonians are. They attribute everything to witchcraft or pastor before looking at the medical side of it. I said, I don't think so. And I told him, I know your organs are inflamed. I went and saw a neurologist, and the neurologist said, "Oh, you used to suffer from kidney stones. Why are you having this now?" I said, "I don't know. I just noticed that I could not." Then I wasn't sleeping at night. While everybody sleeps at security work, my eyes are open. I might be reading. I'm just restless. In the afternoon, in the morning, while I'm supposed to go to work, that is where I want to sleep. I will definitely go to the office and take permission. Oh, I'm not feeling fine. I had to come to work because the doctor says I need to be in the office. And I find myself sleeping throughout the day. I didn't know this was normal. When I got to the nephrologist, he said, "Oh, I think you need to run a proper checkup." Tropical Africa, when you're sick, the first thing that comes into their mind is sexually transmitted diseases. And the doctor said, maybe we should test you for HIV. I said, oh my God, I'm not sexually active. Why are we testing me? He said, no, people with HIV normally suffer from edema. I said, okay. They checked. I went in for blood test. The results came in after a week and everything was negative. That is where my problem started. I got back home. He gave me some medication, some directives to take and say, oh, the water is going to reduce drastically. I used to be 36 double D breast size. Due to the edema, it went to 42 double D. A week later, I had acute gastrointestinal problems. I called the doctor. I said, oh, the edema is still there, but this is what I am feeling. I said, I need to see a gastroenterologist ASAP. I was on a weekend and he said, oh, we can't get a gastroenterologist now, but I'm going to send you some gastroenterologists for you to contact. When I went to this one, he owns some fancy hospital in Cameroon, like 4 or 5 of these hospitals. When I got to him, he said, oh, you're suffering from thyroid hormonal imbalance. And I asked him, I said, what is thyroid hormonal imbalance? He said, oh, but you don't have a goiter. I said, so are you telling me I have a goiter? He said, no, it depends. We have to run some tests for you. I said, okay, there's no problem. This guy didn't refer me to an endocrinologist. This is where my problem started. He took upon himself to be an endocrinologist at the same time a gastroenterologist. He sent me to the lab, ran a series of thyroid tests, and when the results came in, he said, oh, you have a thyroid problem. It's actually a 5-year treatment. But at one point in your life, you have to stop working because the symptoms changes per patient. When you start with this edema, you suffer from palpitations. Very soon you'll be high blood pressure. So in a nutshell, doctor, what are you saying? I need to take this news back to my family. He said, oh, I'll start with a group of medications. Every medication this guy wrote, every prescription he wrote, when I got to the pharmacy, the medications were no longer in use. I asked the pharmacist to call him and tell him what they're using, and he said, just give her that one. I left from a young, beautiful girl with a beautiful career to bedridden. I didn't wake up from my bed for 3 weeks. We had to get somebody who was looking after me, make sure the person cleans me every morning. Nobody was understanding what was wrong with me. And my uncle said, are you sure it's not witchcraft? I said, no, I don't think it's witchcraft. I'm trying to carry out research. He said, send me your results. Let me show you to my friend who is a medical doctor with the University of Maryland, Teaching Hospital of Maryland. The friend said, oh, the diagnosis shows she has thyroid, but I don't know which thyroid disease she has. I was on wrong medications for 9 weeks. I had acne all over my body. My complexion changed from a golden brown girl to some dark girl. All of these were due to the medications. And fortunately for me, I had a client who was not Cameroonian. So I was doing some recovery for him. And he said, kept calling and the office said she's not around. The guy took the next flight from his country of origin and came to Cameroon, went to my office and said, I know she's handling my file. How can you say she's not around? My colleague said, oh, I can take you to her house. When he came to my house, he thought he had seen somebody who was dying. And I said, what is wrong with you? I couldn't even talk because the palpitations, I was having heat intolerance. He said, what's wrong with you? I just kept crying. He asked me, say, can you go to India? I told him, I said, even if it's in heaven, I will go as long as I'm going to get better. He gave me a contact to this hospital in India. and said, contact them right away. I called the hospital, the head of international patient, and she said, this is our email address. Can you send us all your diagnosis for the last 6 months? I sent it to them. The next day, 48 hours later, she sent me an email. She said, we want to have a conference call with a team of doctors. There's a lot of problems with your result. I thought maybe I had a cancer. First, the doctors called and they noticed I could not speak. The doctor said, firstly, madam, I want to inform you that you've been wrongly diagnosed. What medications are you taking? I had a first aid box in my house. I showed him and he said, can you trash all of those medications? He said, you should be on the next flight. You have to come to India within the next 4 weeks. If not, we'll be saying another story. I told him, I said, okay, what do I need to do? Cameroon doesn't have an Indian embassy at the time. You need to send your documents to Nigeria for a visa processing, and it has to take 2 weeks. He said, this is what we are going to do. We'll write to the embassy in Nigeria for an urgent visa for you. I started the procedure. Everything went on all right. This doctor who wrongly diagnosed me, I went to him for a medical recommendation. And he said, I haven't said I can't look after you. I don't have any right to write any recommendation. This my hospital is competent. And I said, okay, don't worry. I went to my nephrologist. We did every paperwork. I was on my way to India. I left from bad to worst. Leaving for India, my blood pressure was 340. You know what that means? Flying to India, the doctor told my family, I'm not sure she's going to make it. He wrote so many medications and said, when you're about to board the plane, you may take them. So my vitamins, this was to help me sustain latitude. The edema, I was just like, how do they call them? This fat plot size muscles, the ones who are 24, 28. The guy told my uncle, I'm not sure she can make it to Addis Ababa. She might die on the plane. And my uncle said, maybe I'll advise you to go to the cathedral and meet the archbishop for blessing, without telling me what the doctor said. I said, okay, there's no problem. I went to church, met the priest, told the priest everything. The priest said, okay, I'll bless you. We wish you the best. The guys in India said, I'm supposed to spend 6 months in India. 6 months in India for treatment. On getting to India, upon arrival in Mumbai, it was catastrophic. I could no longer move. I was so tired. I was going to Bangalore. My next flight to Bangalore was scheduled for 9 hours due to my condition. They didn't know if I was going to make it to Mumbai safely. When I got to Bangalore, I just discovered that I've been sleeping for quite so long, and I got up with so many things in my ward, and the doctor said, you went into a coma when we picked you up from the airport. The doctor said, you went to a coma when we picked you up from the airport. I said, how long have I been in a coma? And she said, for 24 hours. They started their diagnosis, running all sorts of tests. I did an MRI. It was quite a journey. It was quite strenuous for me and stressful. So when I had to see the endocrinologist, he said, first, you've been on wrong medications for 9 weeks, and it has destroyed your organs. Secondly, we have to detox your immune system before we can know what is actually wrong with you. I was 27 years old and this happened, and I asked the doctor, I said, am I going to die? I just want to know. He said, no. You're not going to die. A lot of people have survived this condition. It's going to take a while. First, I need to let you know that having kids might be difficult. Let me put that to you. And I was asked to come a week later for my proper thyroid diagnosis. When the labs were available, the doctor said, oh, you're suffering from Graves' disease, the autoimmune of hyperthyroidism. First, you're going to spend at least 12 weeks here to ensure that you're stable. I had high blood pressure, myoedema, inflamed kidneys, acne all over my body. And the doctor said, if I'm not stable, I'm not going back to Cameroon. After staying in India for 12 weeks, the blood pressure was a bit below level. The thyroid hormones there was a bit of improvement. He asked me to go back to Cameroon. Upon leaving for Cameroon, he told me, these are the 3 things we're going to do for you. It's either you have a complete thyroidectomy, which is a complete removal of your thyroid gland, or we'll do a partial thyroidectomy or radioactive iodine. So you have to come back after 8 months for any of those procedures. When you're going back to Cameroon, make sure you look for an endocrinologist who I'm going to work hand in gloves with. Bear in mind, Cameroon doesn't have, let me not say Cameroon doesn't have, they have more of diabetic doctors and internists than endocrinologists which are specialized in thyroid disorders. I went back to Cameroon. I saw the head of endocrinology department in the reference hospitals, like an NHS hospital. And upon getting to her with my history and everything, I knew I was about to die. She didn't know anything about thyroid disease. She had to read from the internet. I was one of her first patients. After 8 weeks with her, there was no improvement. I had to look for another doctor. This time around, I went to consult an internist who said she's into holistic medicine. Oh, I need to stop my thyroid medications and start taking supplements. Mind you, I was preparing for my biofinance and I was not having it easy. Insomnia, brain fog, muscle weakness, chronic exhaustion. I'd spent the whole of 2017 at home without going to work. I had to resign from my former law firm completely because there was no way I knew I was going back to work. The doctor told me when I was leaving India, said, oh, you are not going to work for 5 years for us to have a proper medical follow-up for your condition. But he didn't tell me the journey I had ahead of me. After staying home, I took my bar exams. I went back to India for radioactive iodine. After the radioactive iodine therapy, the doctor didn't tell me what lies ahead of me. Came back to Cameroon, got called into the bar, got another employment in another law firm, started, it was very well, but before I signed my employment contract, I made my employer know that, oh, I'm suffering from a chronic disease. He didn't know what it was. He just knows, oh, the only thyroid condition they know is goiter. So he was like, what is wrong with you? You look so beautiful. You're always well dressed with makeup and you're intelligent. How can you say you're sick? I told him, I said, what I'm suffering from, you can't see it unless if it has to have a toll on my body. 6 months after working in that law firm, I had a hypoglycemia crisis. I collapsed at work. Lucky enough, I have left the name of the endocrinologist I was seeing at the security. So in case anything happened to me while I am at work, take me to this hospital and call this doctor. When I got to the hospital, after proper diagnosis, she discovered that I was hypoglycemic. I have low blood pressure.
I think Anna is having network issues again. You know what? I want to apologize to each and everyone. It's been a long section because the initial plan was to start at 4 and finish it at 6 o'clock. But it's like we've been extended to 7 o'clock and we still have 4 panelists. So how are we gonna do it? I don't know. But the thing is, even though my plan was to allocate 20 minutes for each panelist, but the story, they're so inspiring, and it would be nice for people to hear everything in details, how they're being misdiagnosed. Yeah, we can hear you now. Okay. Yeah, I was just, yeah, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, you still there, Hannah? Yeah, go ahead.
So with the low blood sugar, the endocrinologist was working. The endocrinologist was working with my doctor in India. I found out she doesn't know anything about managing thyroid patients, but that was the best shot in the country. So I just had to stick by her for me to be alive. She told me, oh, we need to start doing your thyroid test every 6 weeks. The test had to come from my doctor in India because she didn't know what she was doing. She was trying to manage me. After 6 months, I told her, I said, doctor, I'm not feeling too well. She said, no, it's in your head. You need to stop saying you're not feeling too well. I think that you need a holiday. I said, no, I don't think I need a holiday. I am not feeling too well. I cannot get up from the bed in the morning. I go to work, I'm unable to work. The days which I happen to go to court, you will notice why the court sessions are going on, I'm sleeping, as in deep sleep. She said, oh, I need to call my doctor in India because she's trying to research. She doesn't know what is wrong with me. I had a second crisis of hypoglycemia. This time around, I almost lost my life. I was taking a shower. I called my brother. I said, come to my house. I didn't sleep well. I'm not feeling too well. I've left my doors open. My brother met me on the floor in my bedroom. He rushed me to the hospital. And when the doctor came, she said, oh, I think you need to resign from your job. Maybe it's the job which is stressing you. I told her, I said, I have a problem. And if you cannot do it, if you cannot tell me what is wrong with me, please just write a medical certificate and I'll be on my way back to India. She said, no, I've been working with that guy in India. I don't think he knows what is wrong with me. I said, okay, you studied in France. Please, can you send me to the school, to the hospital where you were carrying out your internship? Maybe because it is France, they are going to know what is wrong with me. And she told me in confidence, she said, I've sent your results to them, not once, not twice. They cannot seem to know what is wrong with you. That is what she told me. So I will advise you to look for a different place to go to, but don't go back to India. You have a problem. I stayed home for 2 months. I'm unable to wake up in the morning and do anything. All I do is lay in bed, and I was bloated. Fortunately, I think there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a solution to your problem. I sent my medical records to the UK. Upon my research, I found out one doctor who they say is the best endocrinologist in the whole of Wales. In fact, Europe. He is a consultant with King's College. I tried doing a consultation online with him, and he told me, he said, okay, process, can I apply for a visa for you? I told him, I said, no, to get a medical visa in Cameroon, you need to put a deposit of at least £10,000 with the embassy to guarantee them that as you're going to England, you have to come back. In case you don't pay your hospital bills, they are going to use the caution to pay the hospital. So I told him, I said, don't worry, I'm going to apply for a holiday visa to the UK. As some of you guys don't know, Cameroon has a lot of crises going on, a lot of hostilities where it has affected visa applications to the US or the UK because they think you're trying to run away from Cameroon with what is going on there. Being a lawyer with all the documents, the Bar Council wrote a recommendation. I thought I was going to have a visa. Waiting for 3 weeks. The 3 weeks I didn't go to work because if I get up and I feel well, I'll go to work. But by midday, my blood sugar is already 50. When your blood sugar is 50, you're close to losing your life. I can't do anything. I need to beg my colleague that, oh, carry me and put me in the car for me to go back home. That was how difficult it was for me. Going 3 weeks later, I got an email from the UK embassy saying, oh, your visa to the UK has been denied because we believe that if you come to the UK, you're not going to come back to Cameroon. Another set of depression. I called the doctor. I said, don't you have Don't you know any competent endocrinologist in Belgium? All of this, Germany. She said she has tried. And lucky for me, the doctor I was supposed to consult in England told me that, hey, there is this hospital owned by Toyota in Nigeria. I asked him, I said, doctor, I've been to India. I even went to South Africa and tried to consult a doctor. You want me to go to Nigeria? He said, no, forget about the country. The issue is who you're going to meet. In the hospital, all their consultants come from Europe, from America and Europe. So I believe that there's going to be a solution to your problem. I said, okay. He gave me the contact of the hospital. I sent an email to the director of the hospital. I told him, I said, write a letter and said, I have been recommended by this doctor in England to come in so I can show it to my boss. Mind you, from July 5th till October, I had only worked for a week. I used to work in a law firm where it is a partnership law firm. So you can imagine what the other partners are saying. My former supervisor, I never used to talk to him because he always used to throw slants like, you're a very lazy girl. How come every day you're sick? What kind of lifestyle is this? Those are the kind of stigmatization I was getting. He kept saying, oh, what kind of illness are you even having? Today you're fine, the next day you cannot wake up from bed, blood pressure. I've tried to Google those your symptoms. Maybe you're pretending, you want to eat our money. Oh God, I was depressed. I called my family. I said, oh, I have to go to Nigeria. This is the hospital they said. I carried out my research, asked a few family friends. My uncles were like, Nigeria, are you sure they have a good hospital? They said Toyota owns this hospital. If you don't want me to go to Nigeria, there's another branch in Ghana and in Gambia. So choose one. But I believe in Nigeria. I have been visiting Nigeria. I have in-laws here. I'm going to be comfortable with the culture and the food. I didn't know my thyroid have left hypothyroidism and it has now become autoimmune. I didn't know what it was. On getting to Nigeria, I went in, they said, oh, you need to do a proper medical, they call it executive health check. I said, there's no problem, just do. On the day I saw the endocrinologist, the morning I was going to the hospital, I'd given up even in prayers. I had to pray my rosary, and I told God, I said, if it doesn't work, then maybe we'll be preparing for a funeral. You could hear me breathing. If I'm about to climb the stairs, it's a whole journey. It'll take me like 20 minutes because after once, when I sit in an Uber, you hear the driver and tell you, okay, no can die for my motor, meaning don't come and die inside my cab because the way you're breathing. The Uber driver was not understanding that I had a medical condition. He was always scared. And the doctor told me, I'm sorry to hear what you've gone through, but right now, you're having hypercholesteremia, that is high cholesterol. You're hyperglycemic. Your adrenal glands are all dead. We need to revive them. I asked the doctor, I said, am I going to survive? I just want to know if I'm going to be alive. He said, no, you're going to be alive. And I asked him, I said, doctor, I need to know something from you. What happened before you specialize in treating thyroid disease? You're my fit doctor. No, he's a Sikh. Back in Cameroon, I changed for with the guy in India. I said, because you're my Sikh doctor, so I need to know if it was your passion. And he told me he lost his dad to wrong diagnosis. His dad died of thyroid disease, but they were treating him for diabetes. That gave me an assurance that this one at least knows what he is doing. After the blood work, he told me, say, first, your thyroids have become autoimmune. As time goes on, you'll be experiencing some very, very, very scary symptoms, but don't be scared. It is a phase which every autoimmune Hashimoto thyroiditis patient goes through. I asked him, I said, what is Hashimoto thyroiditis? Because everybody I've come across is suffering from hyper or hypo. My aunt has hypothyroidism and she has had her 2 thyroids removed. He said, in a plain English, your immune system is attacking your body, but in your own case, your immune system is attacking your blood cells. In every 10 Hashimoto patients, you see one person. And I asked him, I said, attacking my blood cells. He said, yes, that's why you are always anemic. I asked him, I said, is it leukemia? He said, no, it's not leukemia. I said, so is there, he said, you know, there is no cure. I said, okay. I went, carried out my research. I found out that 5% of the world's population is suffering from Hashimoto thyroiditis. Inside the 5%, 3.5 have not yet had a proper diagnosis. They're still wondering about the symptoms. And he told me, I'm going to make sure that you become stable. It is just a matter of time. But first, you have to go and resign from your job because with this condition, you can't handle stress. I told him, I said, okay, if that's what is going to make me to be better, I'm okay. I've stayed home for 20 months before because of this condition. So staying home again is not going to, as long as I'm going to be better. He asked me, said, have you ever had anybody who had thyroid? My childhood friend died in the US for Hashimoto's. She was on steroids.
Ari, you know, I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Can you try to shorten it up a little bit because of time? We are on time constraint right now.
Oh,
I'm so sorry about
so,
that.
I'll do that. And she said, I told him, I said, I lost somebody to it. So I really want people to know that it's not associated to witchcraft or spiritual. It's a condition. He said, okay, there's no problem. We started. After 10 weeks, he told me, said, in 8 weeks, you might start experiencing the Hashimoto symptoms. You have to go back home, get yourself ready. You might have to move to Nigeria because for you to go into remission, Hashimoto's does not have a cure, but you can go into remission. And going into remission doesn't mean it is over because 90% of the people who goes into remission still has a relapse because they go back to their normal lifestyles. So he told me, said, and you have to change your diet. Carrying out extensive research, following Hashimoto's doctors on Instagram, Dr. Isabel Wentz. She has a very informative book. Everybody should pick one. Dr. Henderson and Dr. Bright Brittany about women with hormonal changes. I bought those books, started reading, educating myself of everything which I'm going to see in future. I came back, I had severe symptoms of SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. The doctor said, okay, these are the Hashimoto symptoms you're already experiencing. We had to run through a thyroid antibody test. My antibodies were 32 in February. I was losing my mind. My flares could make the next person sitting next to me scared that I'm about losing my life because muscle weakness, the flares can go as long as 2 weeks without me getting up from bed. That's how I was suffering. I won't be able to communicate with anybody. I won't be able to talk because I'm struggling with breathing. So the doctor told me there are 3 things which you have to do. I have to choose one. For me to manage this condition, I'll either have to go on immunosuppressant tablets or a plasmapheresis therapy or steroids. And I told him, I said, immunosuppressant and steroids, I'm not going to do that, but plasmapheresis, I can do that. Fortunately for me, while they were preparing for the plasmapheresis therapy for me, COVID outbreak, I took my health into my own hands. He called me and said, with this COVID, nobody is going to do a plasmapheresis for you in the world because you fall under one of the most vulnerable cases. So you have to change your diets. It took me 8 weeks. I carried out enough research. I went in, tried to follow, or I went first. I joined, thanks to Madam Uroma. That day I went to the hospital with her to see my doctor. She asked me to join an autoimmune support group on Facebook, which I've been very grateful to. Each and every one of us here should join one of it. She gave me some doctors that I can follow on social media platforms who have suffered from this disease and are helping other people. First week of May, I had to go in for my next blood work. It was a miracle. My antibodies dropped from 32 to 19. My doctor has never seen it. I sent it to the other doctor in India, which was an improvement. My fatigue levels have reduced. My energy levels, now I can get up in the morning because I never used to sleep at night. And my main issue of talking here today, because I've been stigmatized even from my family. I left my job, left my good life just because I'm trying to look for a cure for myself. Don't be fooled by this face. The whole of this week, because I had to attend this, I've been sleeping so that I can look a bit beautiful in front of the screen. But most days are a struggle. I have learned not to please everybody. I cannot be there for anybody as I used to be before. And there are bad days. On the bad days, I just stay in bed. And trust me, living with an invisible illness, you need to learn how to cut your excesses. I can't tell you the number of people I've cut off because they're always judging. Oh, I haven't seen you for a long time. What's wrong with you? I'm sick. Are you still sick? You don't look like you're sick. You're always looking beautiful. I said, really? He said, yes. Okay, don't worry. Another person will say, why are you always sleeping? What kind of illness is that? Are you sure it's not witchcraft? Have you tried going to a pastor? How will you live your life as a young girl spending money? And mind you, in Africa, insurance doesn't cover autoimmune diseases because they have a certain limit. So running those tests is a lot of money, a lot of sacrifice, which I'm grateful to everybody who, your prayers, your support. I have some members of my family who are actually live. I want to thank them. I've never had the opportunity to thank them in front of anybody. I appreciate your prayers, your support, everything. The messages, the finances, it means a lot to me. And thank you. Thank you very much for everybody. And I'm open to any questions.
Mr. Harry, I don't know how to let
and
you
everyone
go,
is
because we have other people that want to speak, and because of time, we really appreciate you. Your story has been so inspiring, and thank you so much for giving us details about, you know, how you frequent the hospital, how you were being diagnosed, wrongly diagnosed and everything. So we really appreciate your time. And you know,
generally, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned about so many conditions that I've never heard of before.
Yes.
And it's generally a big plus for me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Thank
Stay
you.
blessed and safe too.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your story. I want to apologize to everyone. Like I said, it wasn't our intention to, have it go this long. And the thing is, it will be so hard for me to, when the speakers are speaking, it will be so hard for me to just say, okay, stop. Even though
cut them short, yes.
Cut them short. You understand? It's so hard because the thing is, when you have a problem like that, you want to let people know. You want to, take it off your mind. You understand? And
exactly.
It
so also helps the psychology. Yes.
Yeah. So because this session we're having, it's more like a therapy. You understand? To each and every one, to just get something off your mind, to let people know this is going on. This is happening. So I want to apologize if I've offended anyone on this section. A big apology. I'm so sorry. And let me let you know, we're going to be doing talking more about health and wellness. And then we're going to have maybe 6 panelists so that they can give us more in depth or give us more details on what they're going through. So I want to say thank you so much to all
Thank you.
I know it's been a long day. It's been a long section. I want to say thank you so much to Dr. Caroline for giving us this panel. This opportunity to be here, and it's been a wonderful time, and a big thank you to each and every one. So like we said, we're going to be having another section, and when we're ready, we'll let you all know. Thank you so much. Thank you. We really appreciate you, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was so great.
Okay.